I'm not one to believe in ghosts, spirits, poltergeists, demons, or other paranormal oddities, though I enjoy horror movies about them. But I do want to answer the question about Ouija board experiences because of a true incident that happened to me back in the mid-1970s. I grew up in a small house in Southern California. Over the years, my mother added rooms to the house. When it was complete, one of the bedrooms ended up in the center of the house, with no windows to the outside, only 2 doors. One door led to the hallway, and the other led to a new living room that was added on. I had 2 brothers, and none of us wanted that room as our bedroom because it was dark and had no natural light source. Our mother found it equitable to have us all rotate into the room for 6-month intervals. The closet in that room was where we put all of our old games, Monopoly, Clue, Mousetrap, etc. One of those games was our Ouija board, if you want to call it a game. We played with it for a short time when we were kids, but it was kind of creepy, and as children, we always heard that messing with the spirit world could be dangerous. There are some odd things that happened while playing with that. In our young minds, it seemed very weird, but we eventually moved on to other things. When it became my time to stay in the room, I was around 16 or so, I found it annoying that something kept knocking on the closet from the inside, like it was tumbling down from the top of the closet to the floor. I would constantly look into the closet to see what it was, but everything was always in place. It would happen at uneven intervals between every 15 to 25 minutes, 24 hours a day, every day and night. I asked my brothers about it, and they said it was the same for them. We even had our mom listen to it, and she couldn't find an explanation. About 2 years later, my mom bought a tool shed for the backyard. I ended up putting the Ouija board in the shed because it was still in good condition and I thought it would be wrong to throw it away. The knocking in the closet immediately stopped and never happened again. When we finally moved from the house, I figured it was best not to bring the board with us. As I said in the beginning, I don't really believe in evil spirits and all that, and I've been an atheist for the last 40 years, but this is a true story, one that I can't explain. When I was a young teen, my best friend and I spent a summer surfing the Ouija board. Mostly we just asked silly, mundane questions, and mostly we got answers that seemed to fit. There was never a specific spirit or entity associated with our Ouija board explorations, and we never felt threatened in any way. Until the day that all changed. One day, a specific personality started to communicate with us. He was male and forceful. He would tell us to do things. Harmless things like taking a poster off the wall or something, but still, it was weird. I asked him his name, which he provided. I don't remember it anymore, so I'll call him Gordon. I asked him where he had lived before becoming a spirit. He gave an address in a nearby small town. I never went to this small town, so no idea if it was real or not, but I had a map so I could look it up. It was real. I asked my sister to drive me there. I was still too young to drive, just to check it out. My friend was spooked and didn't want to go, so my sister and I go to this address. An ordinary-looking house in a wooded cul-de-sac. Nobody was around, so I knocked on the door. No answer. I'm not willing to give up, so I knock at the next-door neighbor's door. A guy answers. He looks like he's maybe in his 50s or 60s. Too young to be old in my eyes, but older than my parents or the parents of my friends at school. I asked him if he knew the man who I'm now calling Gordon, if he ever lived in the house next to him. He thinks for a minute, gets a little faraway look in his eye, and then says yes, someone named Gordon did used to live there. But he disappeared about 15 years ago, and nobody knew why or what had become of him. He couldn't tell me anything more, just said that he didn't remember anything about Gordon other than he lived there and then he didn't. I couldn't wait to get home and tell my best friend. I couldn't wait to pull out the Ouija board and find out more. When we did, Gordon came through right away. He was more aggressive than ever, insisting we do this and that, draw this, gather that. It felt creepy. Even though none of it was hurtful or inappropriate, it just felt wrong. I asked why he wanted us to do these things, and he only grew more insistent, more edgy, more dangerous feeling. I said, no, we're not going to do it. Why do you want it so badly? He understood that I had drawn a line, one that I wouldn't cross. Then he told us that if we had done what he'd asked, then he could get us to trade places with him, whatever the fuck that meant. And then, on the board, it just spelled out, ha, ha, over and over again, faster, until it eventually stopped. Damn, poke my eyes out with a stick so I never have to see that again. It freaked us both out, and that was the last time we ever did the Ouija board.